Okay, I have a calculator. I close the door. I'm going to go down here to graph and press enter. Now, I would love to show you this by hand, but we have not started messing with binomials, so you have no idea what that is right now. So let me show you. Parentheses, x minus 2 over parentheses, x minus 3. Okay, it looks just like that, except I didn't type the y in. Remember, you don't have to. Y is the same thing as f of x. Press enter. Does that look like that? No, it does not. So we know this is not that graph, which means it is the answer we want. Number 9. What is the value of x given 2x plus 5x plus 9 equals 3x minus 3 plus x? So what do? Combine like terms. 2x plus 5x is 7x. And now we do 3x plus 1x, which is 4x. Boy, I tell you, everything is just going on. Just a moment. Okay. So now I am going to subtract 4x to the other side. And that's 3x plus 9 equals negative 3. Then I'm going to subtract 9. And that gives me negative 12. And then I'm going to divide by 3. And that gives me negative 4. I see my answer, but I want to make sure I actually did this correctly. So I'm going to use a calculator to check my work. And I'm going to erase that out and press menu 3, 1. And what does it tell me? 2x plus 5x plus 9, put my equals, 3x minus 3 plus x, comma, and the letter that I used. Okay, press enter, and negative 4 is correct, so we did it right. And you know on the final exam, we will be looking for your work. So if you get the answer, you got to be able to show us your work in your packet. Number 10. Which graph shows a function with a domain of all real numbers that are greater than 7? So domain is talking about the x values. So x values we know point this way, right? So I need all of the x values that are greater than 7. So if you notice, I have, in a sense, I would say sidewalk, but some people don't like sidewalks, so I'm going to say jail cell bars. And those jail cell bars, which would be these, are the x values. But they are sliding on the x-axis to the right because they're getting bigger. So which one of these answer choices starts at 7 and gets bigger? And so now I see a mistake. So instead of 7, that should say 4. So let's fix that now. So which one starts at 4 and gets bigger? It slides like jail cell bars. So I see here it says 4. But that's on the y-axis, so that's automatically wrong. And then I look here, and this is at 4 on the x, and it's pointing up, and my arrows are pointing up, right? So is that sliding on the x-axis like jail cell bars, or is that kind of moving like a ladder? Oh, that's moving like a ladder, isn't it? So now I look at B, and I notice that it's not directly on the x-axis, but it has a vertical line that crosses the x-axis at 4 where this starts. Now, it said greater than, not greater than or equal to, so it should have no line under it. That's my less than. That's my greater than with no line under it. And it says greater than, so that means I should have an open circle. Is that moving to the right? Is my arrow pointing to the right, like my gel cell bars? The gel cell would move? Yes. So B is my answer. Number 11. Simplify the following algebraic expression. So the first thing you need to do is put a negative here. A 1 there, I'm sorry, so that you know that you're distributing negative 1. So negative times that is negative 1x, times that is negative 5, 4 minus 3x. Okay, combine like terms. Negative 3 and negative 1 gives me negative 4. So they're gone. Now I'm left with 4 minus 5, which is minus 1. And there is my answer. So be careful. Okay. Let's move on. What is the zero of the linear function graph below? Well, 0 means x-intercept. So what is the x-intercept? Where it crosses the x-axis is here. So negative 3. Uh-oh, I have two negative 3's. Which one is the x-intercept? Well, remember, for the x-intercept, the y is always 0. So that would be D. Another way to remember it, if I'm talking about the x-intercept, the number where it crosses the x-axis is going to be in the x spot. Number 13. What is the equation in standard form of the line that passes through 221 and has the slope of negative 1/2? So, how do we do this? Which way do I want to show you how to do this? We know that when you're given a point and a slope, it's best to use point slope. So let's see how that works. So x1, y1. So y1's 21. Slope is negative 1/2. And x1 is 2. Okay. So then this times that is negative 1/2 x. This times that is plus 1. And that's because negative 1/2 times negative 2 over 1 would be 2 over 2, which is 1. Negative times a negative is a positive. And then we add 21. Negative 1/2 x plus 22. Okay, so one of these is that. Uh-oh, what does that mean you have to do to your answer choices? You have to solve them for y, don't you? Here we go. Letter A, x plus 2y equals 13. So minus x, 2y equals negative x plus 13, divide by 2. That gives me y equals negative 1/2 x plus 13 over 2. Is that what I want? No, I want 22, don't I? That's not it. So now let's try B. So I'm going to put it right here. And we have to subtract x. So cancel, cancel. 2y equals negative x plus 44. Divide by 2. Negative 1/2 x plus, ooh, thank goodness, 22, because I did not want to do all 4 of those. So this matches my point slope. So I have my answer. All right, number 14. A weightlifter is adding plates of equal weight to a bar. The table below shows the total weight, including the bar, that he will lift depending on the total number of plates on the bar. So, based on this information, which statement is true? Well, it says that the weightlifter is adding plates to this bar, okay? So that means you have the weight of the bar plus the weight of each plate. So we have, and it looks like he's adding 2 at a time. So 2 times the weight of the plate would give us the total weight of what he's lifting. So when I look over here, I see at 2 plates, the total weight is 125. Well, let's read our answer choices. Which statement is true? Is the weight of the bar 30? Well, we don't know yet, because all we know is when I have 2 plates added onto this bar, I have 125 pounds total. So how do I figure out how much the weight of the bar is? Okay, well, when will you have the weight of the bar? When it is, or when this table says 0 plates. So this is X and this is Y. So when X is 0, when you're writing the rule and you go back and put in the 0 and find that number, your starting point, your y-intercept, that's what it's asking for. So if I do this, it's going to trigger something. So let me write it this way, and then you'll remember. 2, 4, 6, 8, 125, 195, 265, 335, and let me put in that 0. Now do you see? So how much is it going up by? 70? Yeah, it's going up by 70. So how do we get down to 0? We go down by 70. So 125 minus 70 gives us the weight of the bar is 55, because that would be when I would have no plates on it. So which one says that the weight of the bar is 55? Now, would you get it right picking 70? No, that's not the weight of the bar. That's your pattern. Remember? That's your slope. That's how much it's going up by. So no, that's not the weight of the bar. So be careful about that. Number 15. What is the x-intercept of the following table? Well, remember, the x-intercept is when y equals 0. So we're looking for a 0 here. And then a number here. So 0, 12, that's the y-intercept. So don't pick that one. Okay, so how am I going to find the x-intercept? Well, when would y be 0? Between here, right? And so that's between 2 and 4. Do you see an answer between 2 and 4? And it means it has to be one of these. So it's when y is 0. Y is 0. The answer must be 3. How can we check that? How can we check that the answer really is B? Well, if I am at negative 12 and I'm moving to negative 4, I went up 8, right? Okay, and so what happens if you move, it went to 4 and so it went up 8, right? Because it went to 4. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8. So what would be halfway? From negative 4, what would be half of 8? 4. So go up 4 from this, that puts you at what? 0. So that means there is your x-intercept. It is B. Alright. Number 16. What is the equation of the line that has slope 0 that passes through this point? What did we learn about slope 0? Look at the y value. So the answer is y equals 2. If the question said, what is slope undefined, write an equation of the line that has slope undefined, and it passes through the same point, the answer would have been x is negative 3. But it said slope 0, so y is 2. And which one says y 2? That means this one is slope undefined, which is why it's wrong, and then those are just mixed up. Number 17, which equation can be represented by the graph shown below? Oh boy. What do you have to do on this? Man, you have to first solve them for y. And I know you don't want to, but we have to. So I need one of these problems that passes through 2. The y-intercept is 2. So B is 2. And that has a slope of, I have to find the right points. Make sure I pick the right points. Well, that's not a good point to pick because it can go straight through the middle. And it looks like it went through 5, I want to say. So that would be down 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 2/5 for my slope. Okay, so now let's take this 3x plus 8y minus 16 equals 0. And let's solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 3x. And I know some of you are saying, Miss, why did you do that first? Why didn't you move the 16? Okay, I'll move the 16 first. It's not a big deal. So move the 16 first. 16. Now this probably looks more familiar to you. Now you move 3x. 8y equals negative 3x plus 16, and then divide by 8. Okay, so it looks like my slope is wrong. So it started at 2. I picked the wrong point because that didn't cross right here. It crossed right there. So that's one of the things that you guys did wrong. You would pick the wrong point. So what is the correct point? Looks like it crosses right there. So now let's count that slope and see what we get. So that's 1, 2, 3, down 3, and over how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See what happens when you pick the wrong point? Okay. So the slope is negative 3/8. Yay! And what is 16 divided by 8? It is 2. So this reduces to negative 3/8x plus 2. Voila! I got lucky. mx plus b. b is 2. m is negative 3/8. The answer is A. How do I know? I can check b and make sure that it's not right. So minus 8y equals, minus 16 equals 0. So I'm going to add the 16 over, and I get this, add 3x, and that's 3x plus 16. Remember, you can't put those together. I divide by negative 8, and that gives me minus 2 for that. And then that gives me negative 3/8x. But I'm supposed to have a positive 2, so I know it's not me. And then you can check C and D, but the answer is A. Number 18, a painter charges $40 per hour for labor plus $50 for the ladder rental. So $40 per, so times H, hour, plus $50 for the ladder rental when he paints a house. And this is how much he charges. The customer provides the paint. The total charge to paint a customer's house is $900. So the total cost is $900. How many hours did the painter spend painting this house? So we need to solve for H. And I'm running out of room here. 850 equals 40H. So if 850 equals 40H, I need to now divide by 40. And what does that give me? Well, that cancels, and so H equals 850. And I'm going to just calculate that real quick. 85 divided by 4, and that is, as a decimal, 21.25. So how many hours did the painter spend painting? 21.25 hours. On your test, you're going to be given a grid. And it's going to say N1. And since the answer was 21.25, you're going to go to, first pick plus or minus, and that was positive, so put positive. And then 21.25. And then go down and circle, fill in 2, 1, and then the decimal, which I think is at the very, very, very bottom, and then 2, and then 5. Okay, so make sure you do that correctly. And let me look at it and see where the decimal is. No, the decimal's at the top. I just looked, I'm glad I looked. So the decimal is right there at the top. So you would fill in the decimal for this, 21.25. Now, please don't fill in 21.25 on the test because that's not the answer. This is the answer to this question. It was changed. Number 19, write an equation and solve. A polygon has a perimeter of 38. The side lengths are 3x plus 1, 2x minus 2, 4x minus 1, and x. What is the length of the longest side? So remember, perimeter means to add all the sides, so you have to do 3x plus 1 plus 2x minus 2 plus 4x minus 1 plus x equals 38. And by hand, we said to add all your like terms. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Another negative 1 makes it negative 2. I add 2 to both sides. That gives me 40. I divide by 10, and x is 4. So you would go to the grid and do a plus sign and then 4. And you would find 4 and bubble it in. Now, did I do that right? No, I did not. And that's what most of you do. You stop right there and don't finish reading the question. What did it ask for? The longest side. So are we done with this problem? No. You should have taken 4 and plugged it in. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 2 times 4 is 8, minus 2 is 6. 4 times 4 is 16, minus 1 is 15, and then x just means 4. So what should we have bubbled in? 15, not 4. So 15, 1, 5, 1, and then 5 would be down here somewhere. Okay, so just in case this part right here you forgot, what could you do to check to see if 4 was the right answer? Did you actually get the correct x value? You could have done menu, algebra, 3-1, numerical solve, and then type in all that work. 3x plus 1 plus 2x minus 2 plus 4x minus 1 plus x equals 38, comma, x, and press enter. So 4 was correct. I just showed you how to do it by hand first. Now when you get 4, plug it in to see which one is the longest side. Number 20. A dishwasher at a restaurant is loaded with the same number of dishes every time it is used. The table below shows the total number of dishes washed as a function of the number of times the dishes is used. So based on the data in the table, what is the total number of dishes that will have been washed when the dishwasher is used 9 times? Well, that means when 9 is here, what is that number? Okay, so every 2 it's going up by how much? So 104 minus 52, hopefully you see that. If not, use a calculator or do it by hand. It's 52. So it's going up by 52. Well, I only need to go up half of that. So 52 divided by 2 is 26. So I'm going to say 208 plus 26. And 208 plus 26 is 234. So you would come, and it's positive. So 234, 234. And fill this in for grid in 3. And that completes the final. If you have questions, ask me in class. You can ask your teacher in your class if you're watching this video, or be here on December 17th in room 1112, and we will go over the review together. Algebra 1 review is going to be November 17th from 3 to 4 in room 1112.